Hey, Martha here with History IT. I'm going to share a quick walkthrough of the digital museum we've created for our partners at the Episcopal Diocese of Maine. To kind of just kick things off, digital preservation can really be leveraged as a tool to support so many different aspects of operations within dioceses and churches. By incorporating history into your communications, you can better engage churches and congregants to build a stronger sense of community and connection. You can even use it to add depth to your fundraising campaigns. Critically, it breaks down the physical barriers of visiting archives and creates transparency and access to your historical materials in a way that's really significant. Not to mention, it saves those materials for future generations so they can also understand your shared past. History IT digital museums are hosted through our Odyssey preservation software. And if you choose to make your site public, anyone with an internet connection can search, explore, and dive into your history. So think churches who want to better understand what materials a diocesan archive might have that relates to their own building and congregation, or people who might be curious about your impact on the community more broadly, or even clergy who are looking for inspiration on how to guide their congregation. Digital museums provide the opportunity to share your stories and materials through curated, interactive experiences. So things like exhibits, timelines, and biographies of influential people throughout your history. Exhibits can be used to tell any story you'd like to share. So the story of your founding or the history of important buildings, from diocesan offices to cathedrals and even rectories. You could even share stories of important programs or retreats you've operated over the years to support churches and community members. Or, like in this example, you can show how you've celebrated a recent milestone and the symbolisms incorporated to help make the celebrations meaningful and spiritual while overcoming obstacles, like marking the occasion amidst the pandemic. Sharing compelling stories like these can really spark a better understanding of who you are, how you build community, and how you support and raise up that community. Timelines are a great way to share important milestones in your history and can even be a way to contextualize various themes within your history. You can do that through filters to segment your history, like the Diocese of Maine has done here, with themes like bishops, churches, and diocesan history. You can even share the history of your local community, state, or even major global events like World War II or the introduction of major new technologies. Within the timeline, the events can be linked to items from various collections. So just as an example to dive in here, you can see that this moment on the timeline has related materials. You can just click to learn more, and then you're able to dive deeper through strategic metadata tagging. You can see those metadata fields down here. You can tag things like people, events, themes, dates, locations, and really create connections between items in the archive and really give your community an immersive way to explore your history. And then if you click on any of these metadata tags, you're going to be linked to other related items in the archive that also have these tags. So just as an example, if you wanted to find more materials related to church buildings, you just click right here. Having a strategic metadata plan in place and a system that allows you to share your historical materials in an interactive way helps to build connections between various items. Here you can see there are photos, newspaper clippings, brochures, and issues of the Northeast, the Episcopal Diocese of Maine's newsletter. And while a picture is worth 1,000 words, by using a variety of materials, you're able to tell a more dynamic, layered story about your history. Telling that more complete story is what can be really powerful when engaging your congregants and community to help them feel connected to the church and to each other. This type of storytelling can be especially impactful when fundraising to continue your work to create and support that spiritual community. You can continuously explore the digital museum by clicking these interactive tags, but those tags also make your entire digital museum searchable. From your homepage, anyone can easily search the entire site by name, date, theme, really whatever comes to mind. So let's search for consecration. So really easy, really searchable, and you can further filter those search results by item type to narrow down on what you're looking for. Here's an example of an item that, through the process of digital preservation, was a new discovery for the Episcopal Diocese of Maine. No one knew what was inside this film reel canister, but we knew it was extremely fragile, so we took proper measures to digitally preserve it. We're very fortunate to have uncovered and saved the film reel of Bishop Wolf's 1968 consecration. It's such a unique piece of the Diocese of Maine's archives, and it's now online, available to the public. You can also use your digital museum to share stories about prominent members of your community. For the Episcopal Diocese of Maine, they wanted to highlight stories of the bishops of Maine. This could also be used to share stories of other clergy and lay people who have made an impact in your community or even made an impact in the world. And just like any item within your digital museum, you're able to use those tags to dive deeper. Let's say we wanted to know more about the first female bishop of Maine. We just scroll to read her story and click to dive deeper. Publications are an incredible storytelling tool, especially when made digitally accessible. If you think about it, that's where we put our best information and share the most important news with the most critical details. For the Diocese of Maine, that's their newsletter, The Northeast, which dates back to the 1800s and is the oldest diocesan paper. Our Publications Viewer in History IT's Odyssey preservation software can show a single or two-page spread depending on your preference or how the original was intended. So you can jump around here to different pages really easily. Odyssey also creates transcripts of type and handwritten text through OCR technology, which really facilitates easy searching within the publication. So you can see that transcript here. And then Odyssey also allows you to conduct searches, which you can do here. Let's go ahead and search for convention. You're also able on the back end to have the option to correct any errors in the transcript that you notice, which is just a really great feature to have. Having your archival materials, including your newsletter, digitally accessible and fully searchable creates this really powerful storytelling tool for the team at the diocesan level and for churches as well. Being able to pull articles about outreach initiatives when soliciting donations to continue those efforts, or even sharing photos from youth programs when talking about community building. Those personal touches are incredibly impactful and add real depth to your communications. So to sum it up, whether you're looking for someone to come in and take stock of all the history you have and create a plan for making it digitally accessible, or you just want to focus on imaging, metadata, and content creation, or you're just looking for software to bring your vision to life to celebrate your history, we're here to help with all of that. So please give us a shout if you have any questions. If you want to dive in a bit further, we're always happy to connect. Thank you so much for watching.